The FIFA World Cup is the most widely viewed and followed sporting event in the world, with a rich history that spans over 9 decades. The first tournament was held in 1930 in Uruguay, and it was the brainchild of Jules Rimet, the president of FIFA at the time. Rimet had a vision of creating a global football tournament that would bring together the best teams from around the world to compete for the ultimate prize. The tournament was initially met with skepticism by many, but it quickly gained popularity and has since become the pinnacle of international football. The early years of the World Cup were marked by dominance from the South American teams, with Uruguay and Argentina being the first two teams to win the tournament. However, it wasn't long before European teams began to make their mark, with Italy winning the tournament in 1934 and 1938. The World Cup was put on hold during World War II, but it resumed in 1950, with Brazil hosting the tournament and Uruguay winning it for the second time. The 1950s and 1960s are often referred to as the golden age of the World Cup, with teams like Brazil, Hungary, and England producing some of the most exciting and skilled players the world had ever seen. The 1958 World Cup in Sweden is particularly notable, as it was the tournament where a 17-year-old Pelé announced himself to the world, scoring 6 goals and leading Brazil to their first World Cup title. The 1960s also saw the rise of the great Brazilian team that included players like Garrincha, Zico, and Tostão, who won the World Cup in 1970. The 1970s and 1980s saw a shift in power, with teams like Netherlands, Germany, and Argentina becoming major forces in international football. The 1974 World Cup in Germany is notable for the introduction of the total football tactics employed by the Dutch team, which revolutionized the way teams played the game. The 1980s also saw the rise of the great Argentine team that included players like Diego Maradona, who led his team to the World Cup title in 1986. The 1990s saw a significant increase in the global popularity of the World Cup, with the tournament being broadcast in more countries than ever before. The 1994 World Cup in the United States was a major success, with the final between Brazil and Italy being watched by a global audience of over 1 billion people. The 1998 World Cup in France saw the introduction of the first ever World Cup website, which allowed fans to follow the tournament online. The 2000s saw the World Cup continue to grow in popularity, with the 2002 tournament in Japan and South Korea being the first to be held in Asia. The 2006 World Cup in Germany saw the introduction of new technologies, such as goal line technology and video assistant referees, which have since become an integral part of the game. The 2010 World Cup in South Africa was notable for being the first tournament to be held in Africa, and it saw the introduction of the Vuvuzela horn, which became a symbol of the tournament. The 2014 World Cup in Brazil was one of the most widely watched and highly publicized tournaments in history, with the final between Germany and Argentina being watched by a global audience of over 1 billion people. The 2018 World Cup in Russia saw the introduction of new technologies, such as video assistant referees, which were used for the first time in the tournament's history. The tournament also saw the emergence of new stars, such as Kylian Mbappé, who won the Young Player of the Tournament award. The World Cup has also had a significant impact on the global football landscape, with the tournament being used as a platform for countries to promote their culture and tourism. The 2010 World Cup in South Africa, for example, was seen as an opportunity for the country to showcase its beauty and hospitality to the world. The 2014 World Cup in Brazil was also notable for the country's use of the tournament to promote its culture and music, with the official song of the tournament being performed by a Brazilian artist. The economic impact of the World Cup is also significant, with the tournament generating billions of dollars in revenue for the host country. The 2014 World Cup in Brazil, for example, generated over $4 billion in revenue for the country, with the majority coming from tourism and sponsorship deals. The World Cup also has a significant impact on the local economy, with the tournament creating jobs and stimulating economic growth. The World Cup has also been the subject of controversy and criticism over the years, with issues such as corruption, human rights, and environmental concerns being raised. The 2018 World Cup in Russia, for example, was criticized for the country's human rights record, with many calling for a boycott of the tournament. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar has also been subject to controversy, with concerns being raised about the country's treatment of migrant workers and its human rights record. Despite these controversies, the World Cup remains the most popular and widely watched sporting event in the world. The tournament has a unique ability to bring people together, with fans from all over the world coming together to support their teams and celebrate the beautiful game. The World Cup has also been the subject of numerous documentaries and films, with the 2014 documentary Take the Ball, Pass the Ball being a notable example. The history of the World Cup is also marked by notable moments and iconic players, with the 1986 World Cup being notable for the Hand of God incident, in which Diego Maradona scored a goal with his hand against England. The 1998 World Cup was notable for the emergence of the great French team that included players like Zinedine Zidane and Thierry Henry, who won the tournament and became heroes in their country. The World Cup has also had a significant impact on popular culture, with the tournament being referenced in numerous films, songs, and books. The 2006 film Goal, starring Kuno Becker, for example, tells the story of a young Mexican-American who becomes a football star and plays in the World Cup. The 2010 World Cup was also notable for the Waka Waka song by Shakira, which became a global hit and was played during the tournament's opening ceremony. The World Cup has also been the subject of numerous books and documentaries, with The Ball is Round by David Goldblatt being a notable example. The book provides a comprehensive history of the World Cup, from its origins to the present day, and is widely regarded as one of the best books on the subject. The 2014 documentary The World Cup, A History is also notable, as it provides a detailed and engaging history of the tournament. The World Cup is also notable for its iconic stadiums and venues, with the Maracana Stadium in Rio de Janeiro being one of the most famous stadiums in the world. The stadium has hosted numerous World Cup finals, including the 1950 final between Uruguay and Brazil, and is known for its electric atmosphere and stunning architecture. The Camp Nou Stadium in Barcelona is also notable, as it has hosted numerous World Cup matches and is home to one of the most successful and popular football teams in the world. The World Cup has also been the subject of numerous records and achievements, with the most successful team being Brazil, who have won the tournament 5 times. Germany and Italy are also among the most successful teams, with each having won the tournament 4 times. The record for most goals scored in a single tournament is held by France's Just Fontaine, who scored 13 goals in the 1958 World Cup. The World Cup has also been the subject of numerous controversies and scandals, with the 2015 corruption scandal being a notable example. The scandal involved corruption and bribery allegations against several high-ranking FIFA officials, and led to the resignation of FIFA president Sepp Blatter. The scandal also led to a major overhaul of FIFA's governance and leadership, with the introduction of new reforms and regulations. The future of the World Cup is also uncertain, with the tournament facing numerous challenges and controversies in the years to come. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar, for example, has been criticized for the country's human rights record and environmental concerns. The 2026 World Cup, which will be held in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, is also expected to face numerous challenges, including logistical and organizational issues. The legacy of the World Cup is also an important aspect of the tournament, with the event leaving a lasting impact on the host country and the global football landscape. The 2010 World Cup in South Africa, for example, left a lasting legacy in the country, with the tournament helping to promote tourism and economic development. The 2014 World Cup in Brazil also left a lasting legacy, with the tournament helping to promote the country's culture and music to a global audience.